Morning from Thailand. It's a Saturday morning. It's the favourite day of my week. Toon shot off to the local market, so I've got an hour or two on my Todd. So let's go and have a look at the goat house. It is looking mint, guys. You've got to love a weekend, haven't you? Saturday mornings, wow, I always get flashbacks of my favourite TV show. Of course, this was when it wasn't the fishing season. Back when I was a wee nipper, there was a closed fishing season, so I put fucking cormorant. Where was I? Yeah, because there was no fishing season for 3 months of the year or so. I used to get up early on a Saturday morning, watch Tiz Was. So those of you guys that are my sort of age, I'm sure you used to watch that as well, in Swap Shop. But I've got something better than Tiz Was for you. Honestly, wait till you feast your eyes upon the progress of the goat house. Nulad and Nalur, the two guys that are heading our build project, well, it's basically just those two now. They're doing us proud. They are creating something far beyond our dream. It's just so good. We just feel so fortunate to have these guys on board. And check it out, guys. The flooring is all done. The sides are up ready to receive the metal fencing. We're putting heavy gauge chicken wire fencing around that, and they've done this set or double set of accessway. I've still got to spray those. Of course, that thing I've told you before, I've sprayed all the timbers prior to them using it, and it was pre-treated as well, but once it's been in position, I've sprayed it as well to make sure that the ends are all treated. Handrails are going to go on these, but look, it's so cool. We're going to put a little bit of a motorbike tyre on the treads as well. We kept our old motorbike tyres off Ben Hur when they were past their best, specifically for this, so they're going to go on the edge of the treads. But it's great. There is a little bit of a restriction with head height here, but as I keep saying, we've chosen to have this nice and low. We're happy with the height of it off the floor, but check out the floor, guys. It is just, wow, it's brilliant. And it is so strong, there's hardly any giving it at all. I mean, these flooring planks, they are quite thick, and they are hardwood. This is not pallet wood. You could make a proper traditional Thai house with this flooring if you just sanded it down and treated it. And it's bloody hard as nails. I mean, even the guys have been struggling to get their nails in it. We put these extra timbers in, or the guys have put these extra timbers in on the sides, so that we can pin the metal on there. The fencing, just got it over here. We're not using the fencing that we're doing the perimeter fencing with round the land. This is the old chicken wire fencing, so it's thick enough, strong enough, and the holes are small enough so that the little kids can't get through and launch themselves off. So we've got a kicker board all the way around, and by having a bash at doing our own goat house right near the house, which you've probably all seen before, we have learnt lots. A lot of the things that we're doing on the farm, we've started off fairly small scale, learn from the mistakes, learn about the livestock and all those sorts of things before you go in and make something substantial like this. So what was happening on the other ones, first of all, bamboo flooring was more prone to pest infestation, and because the bamboo flooring was obviously circular, it was more prone to hooves sliding into the holes here. Doing it this way, you can actually have a bigger hole, a bigger gap for the crap to fall through, and even little kiddies, they can't get their feet stuck in there. The other bit was we'd use some old roofing sheets on one of the sides on the other house. Two reasons we're not going to use that again. One is they like to rub up against it in the middle of the night, and it's loud banging noise which wakes you up. And secondly, when they push against a roofing sheet, so if you imagine this was a roofing sheet, they will flex, and then a little one's hoof can get trapped in there when they push against it. So we've had to free a few trapped hooves over the past few months using that other house. This will look brilliant. Once we've got the fencing up, we're then going to put a green netting around the outside of it. It's not to keep mosquito numbers down. Well, it will help, but it's not the reason we're doing it. The reason it will help with mosquitoes is on these posts we're going to position these mosquito repellents. It's like a perfume. Once you plug them in and turn them on, they just sort of like spray a vapor out or give off a vapor. So by putting the green netting all around the sides, that will help to keep the perfume in here. Perfume, it's not the right terminology, is it? Whatever. But it's to keep the wind out. I know some of you have been a bit concerned because we haven't put roofing sheets on with the heat reflective backing on there. Honestly guys, 43 degrees 2 days ago or 3 days ago, 41 degrees yesterday, 41 the day before, and it is lovely and cool here. Even when there's no wind, it's still nice. I suppose with it being off the floor slatted and then open at the sides, it's just lovely and cool in here. And because the roof comes down quite low, you can see at the moment the shadow's going all the way across. So the roof comes out a fair bit as well. So it doesn't matter what time of day it is, there's plenty of shade in here, and it's probably the coolest place on our farm. So no, the goats certainly won't overheat in here. And when we had the vet over to check over our herd before, when we had a poorly mum, he said your main concern is other livestock animals getting on your land, like pigs and cows, buffaloes, that sort of thing, and getting infections from them. Said the next thing is the cold wind and rain. When you get the wind combined with the rain, he said that's probably the most dangerous thing for your goats out here. They'll pick up a bit of a cold, they'll start sneezing and coughing, and you need to act upon it quick. So yeah, we're going to get that green sheeting up at the sides, but really good. So there's going to be a handrail here. I did say to Toon I'd like handrails going down the side as well. The guys were going to come back today to carry on, but Nalur is a little bit short on his cassava sticks on his farms that he's been renting. So he's just asked if he could have a day off to go and do that, and then he'll be back with his right hand man. Got no problem with that. They work so hard, and still 400 baht a day. Let's have a little check on what timbers we've got left. It's not a lot now. Only scraps down there. Same here, just some offcuts. A few bigger pieces there. That's a real thick piece, that one, that is. Let's have a look over here. There was quite a bit round here before, but I'm pretty sure that's all gone. Just a few bits here, and some bits here as well. So we will need some of that, because in here we would like to set up, I don't know whether you see in Thailand, the big blue pipe that you see everywhere. Plumbing work is always done with the bright sky blue plumbing pipe, and we're going to get some big diameter ones, cut them in half and put ends on them to stop the goats kicking it all out. And we're going to set up some feed troughs in here. It's not that we really like feeding the goats in here. It's one, if the weather is really bad, they like to get in out of the rain, but we want to keep them eating, of course. And the other reason, when you put them away at night, if there's a little bit of feed there, they'll nibble on that, and whoever wakes up early also gets a bit of an early feed. So we like to have food available at all times for the goats. You see this timber here, some hair on it. It's coconut wood, this. It's mixed in with mysack, and then there's another couple of different woods. I can't remember what the guys said what wood it was, but they said it's very, very good. And another plus point, or another feather in his bow for Nalur, he sourced this wood for us. And what happened, a bit of a story behind it as always. His sister, who was in Bangkok, took a house down and paid to have it all transported back to Kampang Pet, where we are. And used a good portion of it, and this was left over. When the lure came round quite a few months ago, he came with Toon's friend Poi and his wife, and they came and did a lot of weeding for us with scythes around the place. And Toon was talking about building a huge goat house on the island, and using, you know, really good wood, but the wood was so expensive it's not easy to get hold of it. He says, funny you should say that. If you got 10,000 baht, I can bring you enough wood to build a house. And he's absolutely spot on. So 10,000 baht, 1,500 for him to go and collect it all and bring it back. I helped him out on one trip, and that's it. The rest is history. What a joy of a project. This straight on the back of having the goat island made on the lake. Wow, we just feel really, really fortunate, and it's so cool. We have a bit of a meeting in the morning before the guys start, only sort of like a 20-minute chat while we're having a coffee. They're on their birdie 3-in-1, which is super sweet and super strong. It seems to help them. They have a few of those during the day. But yeah, once we've had our little pre-work meeting, they set to, and you never see them just sat around. If they have a smoke, they're still working, and then they have there's an absolute maximum 1 hour for lunch. We're never ever watching the clock with these guys. They turn up early, they finish late, and they never stop. And just every now and again we'll come out and we'll bring them a drink or something like that, or some fresh ice for the water for them, and we'll just check up on what they're doing, and that's it. A couple of times they've had to move 1 or 2 bits and bobs, but I think half the beauty of this is, and how enjoyable it is, when you find a good tradesman or two that have done this sort of thing quite a few times, don't interfere too much. Give them a bit of a brief. Yeah, if you wanted to give them detailed plans, yeah, they could stick to it, but they probably wouldn't be as good at plans as they make. So, and I really don't know whether it's more luck than judgment, but to make sure that this timber has been stretched to make sure that the whole project can get completed, it's just, if they've planned it, it's bloody brilliant. We're going to be hardly left with Trough, which is a shame, because my fishing platforms and camping areas aren't going to be possible. We're going to have to buy some more stuff, but he doesn't know anywhere else that's got some more of this quality timber, and you can't buy it new. Jesus, have you seen the price of timber in Thailand? And I'm not on about eucalyptus. For proper hardwood, oh my god, it's cheaper to do it all in concrete and block work and metal. It really is. It's a ridiculous price. We've had a few comments from people that are fairly new to the channel. It's great to see you guys. I know we're not particularly easy channel to find on YouTube. I don't know why. I think it may be because we're such a varied channel. You know, the genres that we record are just bloody all over the place. So some of you, you know, might have not watched the lake dig, the fishing lake dig. Obviously this is Goat Island, so some people aren't fully aware of the plans for the land, but basically it's going to get all grassed. Okay? We're going to be putting some tropical sun hemp in here as well, or is it tropic sun hemp? It's the one that's safe for goats. Toon's got an idea that she wants to put some established trees on here. We are going to have to put some temporary fencing around there, make sure that the goats don't nibble them to death until they're established. But really this is just the holding area for the goats. But of course the herd is going to increase year upon year, or month by month, week by week maybe. BB's still not giving birth, by the way. So the goats are going to be let out off the island. So it's going to be all grassed and keep everything knitted nice and tight on here, help prevent soil erosion. But if I just show you over here, there's the outside. That was excavated, I think, getting on for 2 years ago, or about 1.5 years ago. You can see there's just no erosion whatsoever, apart from when the macro actually it'll scrape it up like that. It leaves little ridges. So it leaves a little bit of loose stuff, but we're only talking like 1 centimetre, 2 centimetres at the most. And then once the water goes up and then starts dropping, you'll see that it just smooths off. So it's not eroding at all. We've planted nothing on there. You can see that there's a little bit of vegetation just started to grow, because obviously when we had the lake dug on the final phase, the water level dropped a hell of a lot. So rice seed and grass seed and weed seed was all floated, and a lot of it's taken root there. So soil erosion isn't a problem. That soil there has always been there. All we've done is scrape it. There's nothing built up. There's no fresh soil there. On top of the lower shelf there, yeah, there's probably 6 inches of fresh earth on there. But when I say earth, the first macro man that we had here, he put the hard stuff from here onto there. Okay, so it's all nice and hard all the way around there. So that doesn't erode. You can see down here the old sugar cane and all sorts of grass and weeds are coming through. And again, yeah, we will get a tiny bit, like a smoothing off effect with the rains, but it's such a nice steady gradient. No, we're not bothered about erosion. We've got a couple of little areas around the far side where there's been sort of like a bit of a trough or a divot, say on the side, and the water's found its way in there. And I just said to Toon, when we get the heavy rains, that'll be easy to sort out. We'll just go round there with I can't pronounce it, with a job. It's sort of like the Thai version of a shovel, and we'll just fill the holes in, ram them nice and tight, and put a bit of grass seed on them. So yeah, I'm not concerned about erosion at all. We will be trying to fill up these little divots all the way around the place so we don't have any standing water, but of course you know, we can't have it like a bowling green. You know, I think the best way to have done that was just to put about 100 or 1,000 tons of sand on here and get a tractor in and then seed over that once it was smoothed down. And it's just not financially viable. You can see around here there's a lot of stuff poking its head through now. Lovely bit of shade from the old mountain that we've left in here. So plans for after the goat house is complete. This side here, we're going to create a sort of like a timber table. When I say a table, it's just a basic framework, and then when we cut the get-in food for the goats, we just lay them on there so they can get underneath it, on top of it and round the edge, and there'll be a lot less waste. None of it will be touching the floor, which goats really shouldn't be eating food off the floor anyway, to do with the picking up parasites. After the get-in table, we're then going to have to, hopefully, if Nalur's still here, get him and his mate to fabricate a 100% impenetrable goat gate leading onto the island. Toon's still after a Swiss Family Robinson holiday home down there. I think we'll probably end up living in that whenever we haven't got anyone coming here for farm stay. But it really is such a lovely atmosphere on here. Considering it's just a barren wasteland at the moment, it's got a lovely vibe, even with the lads litter that they just leave around, which we're going to pick up soon. Here's positive thinking for you. Look, I'm not even moody about picking up litter, not this sort of litter, because I've just made 2 baht now. I do like getting paid for recycling. Right, I'm going to get back. I'm going to have my second coffee of the morning, do the editing on this. Hopefully by then Toon's back. I'm going to let the goats out, have a couple of hours with them down the back, and they're making brilliant progress in Jumanji world out the back there. I'll give you another update on how they're clearing the land so effectively for us in another week or 2. What else we've got coming up? Tomorrow the guys aren't going to be doing the goat house. Toon's got them on, what project could I call it? Stop bloody trying to steal our land project. The posts are going in around the outside of the land. I can't say too much, but yeah, she bombed yesterday. Someone had been cheeky, digging into the road that runs down the side of our property, which is actually Toon's road. It's on her paper. So she said, well, that's it, my posts are going in. and she went and told the mayor and said, so and so has left me no choice. I'm going to end up with just about one rye in the end if I don't act now. My posts are going in, and if the woman wants a war, game on. So that's it. She said, I'm not gonna argue. It's police and Sopagore office if she comes down here blah-de-blahing. So if there is a volley of verbal activity coming from Mrs. Crabtree, I will grab the camera, guys. Don't you worry about that. And I'll probably mic up the missus. So, but I'd have to put that to private setting on YouTube. I don't want any court cases coming our way. Right then. Someone was saying, what the fucking hell has happened to your bananas, Lee? Our banana trees are hiding inside the goats. We had 2 days of rain, well, 2 mini downpours. They started growing again, and little Hoover is quite partial to fresh growth of banana trees. Right, I need to get out of this sun, get me caffeine in me, get in front of the one-eyed monster and edit this video. Next video, it may well be the fence posts going in, or it could be a crayfish update. I'm not sure. I know I've got to do one of those. Probably going to do a crayfish update where we show you stripping the eggs off one of the females. Right, I got to get on. Have a good weekend, guys, and see you soon.